Well, who doesn't want fabulous looking skin, especially around the holiday season? If you're planning on taking a trip, you're going to want to jot down some of these helpful travel skincare tips. Joining me right now, Dr. Melanie Palm, founder of Art of Skin MD. Good morning. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning. Thank
we
you.
all want glowing skin, especially if you're traveling by air. Now, we all know that in the cabin, it gets dry in there. There's low humidity. Your skin feels dry. What can you do?
So you touched on all the right points. So you're at a high altitude, so not only are you exposed to sort of higher altitudes of sun rays, which we'll talk about a little bit, but it's very dehydrating. So we want to talk about ways to keep the skin hydrated. And I think the biggest thing for that is sort of maintaining a routine. So we'll talk a little bit about that as well.
So what's the first thing you should do? What should you pack, especially something that can fit in the overhead compartment?
Try and bring little minis of the things that you use. You know, you really don't want to disrupt your skin routine if you can, and trying to find things that are less than those 3 ounces I think really helps. But then while you're actually on the flight, you want to make sure you're drinking lots of water, because we get so dehydrated, and you want to make sure that you're drinking way more than what you think you would.
So if you really want that cocktail because you're dealing with family, you're like, I just need a drink, maybe the water will help your
double or
skin.
triple up in that case. And then ways to stay hydrated. So this is a thermal spring water that I absolutely love called Aven. We use it a lot after procedures, but during a flight it's fantastic too. It's actually got minerals that decrease inflammation and redness, but really hydrates. So you can sort of lightly spritz that onto the skin.
Spray it on your skin.
There's
even on your face if you have makeup on. Can you put it on?
Absolutely. And one thing, if you have long hauls, I really tell patients try and use like a tinted moisturizer rather than putting on foundation. And you want to maybe skip the mascara too, because that could be a possible irritant to your eyes, especially if you're taking a nap on the plane.
Oh, good. And then you have some clothing here, too. And you mentioned UV rays. A lot of people don't realize if you're sitting by the window of the plane and you're in high altitude, you have more risk.
And that's my seat of choice. I love the window seat, but I always try and be cognizant of the fact that UVA is still coming through that. That's the one that causes aging changes, wrinkles, sallowness to the skin. So there are actually clothing lines that are comfy that have UPF. So something called Lucas Hue out of London, Grace by Grit, which is right out of San Diego, is the turquoise one, and even Columbia Sportswear makes UPF clothing, so you're protecting yourself if you choose a window seat.
I'm always searching for UPF clothing, and it's nice to see there's more and more manufacturers out there and people bringing out these items.
Absolutely.
What about what you should be eating and not eating to keep your skin hydrated?
So you want to do things that have high water content. So if there's a fruit bowl offering that's got a very high concentration of the water. Yes, you want to avoid overly salting yourself, because that could cause problems in the next day. And avoid alcohol too, obviously, because that's going to be dehydrating. So sticking to things that actually lob onto the water, and just pure water is great. Sparkling still, that's fantastic.
So what if you're traveling from San Diego to, say, a place where there's snow? What should you do when you first arrive?
You really want to moisture up. And so I actually brought a couple of products, something with hyaluronic acid in it, or this is a hydrating mask that I sometimes have patients pack in their bag and use immediately afterwards. So as they acclimate to the new environment, they're giving their skin some moisture along the way.
All right, some helpful tips, and we'll definitely post this on our website, san6.com. Dr. Melanie Palm, thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Happy holidays.
You too.